The new iPhones are here and I had my 14 Pro Max for a couple of weeks now. I made a video about my first impressions and whether I think it's a good camera for expat creators like me. In this video I want to show you the equipment and accessories that I use when I'm vlogging with my iPhone. This is a follow-up of a video that I made 2 years ago where I talked about my vlogging gear for my 12 Pro Max. Some things haven't really changed, but I did introduce some alternative options, especially when it comes to the vlogging tripod and the microphones that I use. I only ended up making a few vlogs with my 12 Pro Max because I didn't really like the image quality, and especially the quality of the front camera was a bit rubbish. I talked about this in detail in my last video, link up here. In short, I think the new iPhone 14 Pro Max is much better for vlogging now because of the better front camera and because of cinematic mode. Especially for expat vloggers like me and people who are just getting started with video, it's a perfect tool. Or for people that want the most subtle vlogging setup that doesn't draw too much attention when they're out and about. Alright, let's jump in. I'll leave links to all the stuff that I'm talking about in the description below. Number one, the iPhone 14 Pro Max. We're talking about iPhone vlogging, so obviously I'm filming with the iPhone. I've got the 14 Pro Max with the 3 lenses on the back, the main, the ultra wide and telephoto, as well as the front camera, which is now able to record cinematic mode in 4K. I mainly use the front camera for talking headshots and the main and ultra wide on the back for B-roll shots. I usually try to use the main camera as much as possible because it gives me the highest image quality with that larger sensor. I record in 4K 24 frames per second if I'm speaking to the camera, and when I'm filming B-roll I record either in 24 frames per second or 60 frames per second if I think I may slow down the footage later in the edit. I use this standard camera app that doesn't really allow you to make any manual adjustments to aperture, shutter speed and ISO, but I use my iPhone mainly for run and gun type vlogging, so I prefer to be able to hit record immediately instead of fiddling around with all the settings and miss the shot. I used to have the ProTake app that allows you to shoot manual and dial in all the settings individually. However, with that you lose the ability to use some of those built-in iPhone features such as cinematic mode or action mode. If you don't care about those though, I would still recommend using the ProTake app and also the Sandmark variable ND filter, which you can put in front of your lens to control the amount of light hitting your lens when you shoot manually. I would still use that setup myself if I want to create cinematic sequences with my iPhone. Alright, microphones. I use 3 different mics with my iPhone. Number one is the Rode VideoMic Me. This is the one that I talked about in my last video about iPhone vlogging gear, and it's this tiny little shotgun mic that easily attaches to your phone via the lightning port. It comes with this wind muff or dead cat. The problem with the VideoMic Me is that it's incredibly sensitive to wind, even the slightest breeze, so you kind of need to use the wind muff at all times, even though it then already kind of draws more attention to you again. Number 2 is the Rode Wireless Go 2. More recently I started using my Rode Wireless Go, which is more subtle and also perfect if you're a little bit further away from the iPhone. You simply plug in the receiver into your phone by using a USB-C to lightning cable, and then you can clamp the microphone itself to your shirt or to your jacket and you're off to the races. The benefit with this is that you can, move around a bit more and you still get the same quality audio. You can't adjust the audio levels though on the phone, which hasn't really been a problem for me. You just have to kind of dial the volume in later in the edit. And number 3, the built-in microphone that's in the iPhone. I found that the built-in microphone gives you really decent audio, especially when you are doing talking headshots where you're just holding your phone. I don't really use any other microphones in those scenarios because, it's ready to go and it doesn't require any additional setup time. Okay, and the last piece of equipment that I use for iPhone vlogging is a tripod. I use the Manfrotto mini tripod, which is super simple to set up. You just need a phone clamp that you just simply screw to the tripod and you're good to go. There's a certain range of movement that you can do with this tripod, but it's definitely a little bit limited. That's why I introduced a second tripod into my setup, which is the PGY Tech Mantis Pod Pro. Now this gives you a lot more flexibility for angles, and you can film in vertical format as well. The phone clamp is actually integrated into the tripod and it's hidden in the handle, so you always have it with you, which is great. I use this tripod for when I'm vlogging with my big mirrorless camera, and I love this thing, but it's definitely more pricey than the Manfrotto. Let's talk about price actually. The cheapest setup is if you just use the built-in microphone that's in the iPhone and you go with the Manfrotto mini tripod, which is around 25 USD. I'm not counting in the cost for the iPhone here, obviously, because I assume you already have that. Now, the most expensive setup would be when you're using the iPhone with the Rode Wireless Go 2 wireless mic, the Sandmark variable ND filter, and the PGY Tech Mantis Pod Pro as your tripod. That would set you back around 455 US dollars. In my case, I had most of the stuff already for my mirrorless camera, so I'm really only repurposing it for vlogging with the iPhone. Alright, I hope you found this helpful. If you want to see one of the first vlogs that I shot on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, check out the video up here. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to stick around. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.